So I have like a big collection of these shirts. I'm just gonna grab a bottled water for the stream, and then we'll get into some talk about some information. I'm pulling out one more fucking bottle of water, but the good news is, got a jug of water. But the good news is, got a jug of water. Because at least here, we're not having a water crisis like Mississippi. At least. So, hey, what's up, Nicholas? Nicholas is first one in the room. How's everybody doing? Oh shit, I didn't dry my bottle of water. Why'd I leave it over there? I'm a little bit slow. So I did have the chair turned to everybody. So ridiculous. Your iPod case arrived. Well, that's good. iPods are even still a thing. It's like, yo, I'm surprised. How's everything in the Pogo Islands? Pogo Islands is okay. We had a case of piracy along the equator earlier this morning. UTC plus 500 time offset, which is 7 hours ahead of American Eastern Time, North American Eastern Time. 4 pirates were indicted on piracy, on suspicion of piracy. It was on a pirate ship. It was on like a ship near an area guarded by Coast Guards along the equator. It's called Fort Delta Navy Island, right along the equator. And they were spotted by Coast Guards and had like arms, and they were caught, and then they laid their arms down, and then the police boat went over and jumped the ship and arrested them on suspicion of piracy and unlawful use of firearms. So they're going to be facing life in prison plus consecutive years in prison for their firearms charges. You've written laws for your country? Hell yeah, brother. What's up, Joey? Well, that's good. So, 2 days ago, it looks like 2 days ago, the young turds released another video about Joe Rogan, basically saying the same thing, calling him an anti-vaxxer. Look, in a matter of 2 days, the Young Turks made a fucking video about Joe Rogan. That's how desperate these fuckers are. Literally desperate for fucking clicks. Just literally, they're just desperate for clicks. FBI likely warned Facebook about Hunter Biden laptop article. And of course it has Joe Rogan in the thumbnail, so that means that they're going to talk about Joe Rogan and bitch about him, saying how he's a big Trump defender, even though he is massively anti-Trump. And then Joe Rogan uses the pandemic to herd his audience towards conservatism. What the fuck you idiots talking about? What, because he believes in special treatments for COVID? Fuck yourselves. They're so stupid. They're the dumbest motherfuckers ever. Do I really even need to respond to this? Like, honestly. I'm good, Nick. How are you? Do I even need to respond at this point? Like, do I really even need to bother responding? This is what they said. That's basically what they said. Dude, they're not going to cancel fucking Joe Rogan, okay? Joe Rogan is way too big. They're way too big. Joe Rogan is way too big, and Joe Rogan has a significant amount of influence, even though fucking idiots bitch about him constantly. Because he has a different opinion on fucking COVID, or he has a different opinion on vaccines or whatever. It's so pathetic. And then when other lefties like Kyle Kulinski and Crystal Ball, when they defend Joe Rogan against these smear attacks, these fucking shit libs come out and bitch and moan and destroy his comments. And then I've been in a few of them where I literally told these people to go fuck themselves. I've done that, and then of course they would just fucking cry and bitch and moan like, because they're fucking ridiculous. It's like, I don't even know how to respond to these people. Like, I really don't. I don't even know like what is there to say. Like, what is there to say about these people? Because it's not like they have anything to say. It's not like they have anything to say. They believe in American hegemony, and they have a fucking interesting way of showing it. They're fucking jokes, dude. Oh yeah, your country's strict on crime. Well, you'll fit right in with the Poco Islands, bro. You'll fit right in. I just had dinner not too long ago. I had mac and cheese and 4 grilled cheese sandwiches. So I'm pretty full, and I've been burping and I've been fucking and then. And then I was thinking of this earlier while I was listening to something. I think it was something from Jimmy Dore or Gray Zone or something. It was something about something the Young Turks said. Oh no, it was Revolutionary Blackouts. It was Revolutionary Blackouts, the latest video on the Young Turks, about how they've gone fucking full Republican. And I remember saying, I don't know, look at me over here. I'm burping and farting and everything else. And I would love nothing more than to fucking burp and fart in Cenk Uygur's face. And then Chunk Yogurt, the fat buffalo / bison, will literally try to run in the other direction. And then his big herd of fellow buffaloes and bisons will end up chasing right after him alongside with them. Because he'll fit right in. He'll fit right in with the fucking bisons. Because he is a fucking bison. His tan is his tan is faker than Trump's tan. And I know people would say that's racist. And, you know, some of his people would say you're mocking Cenk Uygur's skin tone. Like, go fuck yourselves. I'm not mocking Cenk's skin tone. I'm not doing that. I'm talking about his fake ass tan. Okay, I criticize Trump for looking like a fucking orange Oompa Loompa. Does that mean I'm mocking him for looking orange? Oh yeah, I'm racist against orange people because I say that Trump looks like an orange man. Chunk Yogurt looks like a fucking buffalo. You know, who cares? He looks like a fucking goddamn buffalo. And Sam Cedar is the woke leprechaun. And then fucking the rest of them. And then the Mike Figueredo of the Humanist Report sounds like he got his vocal cords wrecked in a fucking car crash. Like, so Joe Rogan actually said that, Joe Rogan actually denies that COVID happened, or Jimmy Dore is right wing. Jimmy Dore is right wing, okay? That's exactly what it is. Jimmy Dore is right wing, and you need to understand that. And just so you know, he is a little bit different. Jimmy Dore is like really bad, and the Gray Zone is right wing. Like, that's all this fucking idiot says. And Ukraine, great no matter what. Let's go sniff Ukraine's ass. And by the way, Farron Cousins, you've really been disappointing me lately. You really have been disappointing me. And I'm doing good, Queen. I'm just going on one of my tangents before I get into some games and whatnot. Oh, that's Zach the Celtics guy. Oh, yeah, you know. They're probably jealous. They're jealous of all of us people. They're jealous that we get more viewership per capita than a fucking average Young Turds video. So yeah, that's what they said. So they're doing another Joe Rogan smear campaign because they can't let it go. They're desperate for clicks and desperate for attention. But it's like, how do you even respond to these fuckers at this point? Of course he had classified documents. I'm not surprised. He's fucking stupid, but you know what? I urge people to calm the fuck down about the FBI. Now acting like the FBI is a saving grace. It's like, okay, I wouldn't go that far. Okay, I don't believe in abolishing the FBI, but I also don't believe that the FBI is this big saving grace over Trump and over these people because it's, again, slippery slope, you know? No, I hate Trump. I despise him, and I wish the dude go. I would want to call for that dude to be fucking locked up. But I don't think that we need to be gloating about how great the FBI is now all of a sudden. Because it's like, you see how fucking you see how anti-law enforcement some of these fucking like young turds are, but now all of a sudden they're but now all of a sudden they're pro FBI now. It's a little weird. Oh, but Jimmy Dore is anti-cop. No, that's bullshit. He's actually not. Found guilty of treason, he may be sent. I don't think that's going to happen, but he does need to face some serious criminal penalties, let's put it that way. He deserves to face some very, very serious criminal penalties for what he did. And he can. Because I bet Patrick Starr would have more brains than these politicians. In fact, Patrick would have more brains than Biden, and more brains than that, because he's not going to believe in fucking censoring people over misinformation like fucking Mary Poppins, a.k.a. Nina Jankowicz, Nina Censorship Witz. She's a fucking goddamn ditz. It's like, bitch, shut the fuck up, okay? Go fuck yourself. Patrick Starr being president would have more brains than you. It's like, yeah, Joe Rogan, and let me get to what I was saying. Yeah, Patrick would be crazy if he was president. Yeah, but he'd have more brains than the fucking fringe left and the neocons, because it's like the fringe left and the neocons agree. Lindsey Graham, who is a fucking literal goddamn warmonger and a fucking blood-stained fucking warmonger who's got blood on his hands. Okay? This fucker is calling to fucking sanction China and calling to sanction Russia, two of the biggest world economies. Yeah, because that's not like totally gonna tank the world economy, you fucking dipshit. But you know who agrees with Lindsey Graham on this? On shit like this? You know who agrees? Bernie Sanders. He agrees. The shit libs agree with him. Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden, they agree on this. They agree on sanctioning Russia and China and funding proxy wars. They believe in this shit. But no, you can't tell the fringe left that. You can't argue that with the young turds. You can't argue that with shitbag Sam Cedar or the young Turk/turds. You can't argue that with them, because then they'll throw smear tactics in your face because they can't argue the facts. They cannot argue the facts. Probably would be a bucket of KFC chicken, because he tends to eat KFC with a fork. And when Trump was eating KFC, that was considered unserious. Just like Max Blumenthal's famous quote from a interview he did with Aaron Mate. I was saying that these leaders in these dark suits look so serious because when Obama wore a light suit, it was considered unserious. That was Max Blumenthal's greatest quote ever. So I don't want to fucking hear it no more. I don't want to fucking hear it. And I'm going to link these videos to the chat, because no, we need to continue calling out the fucking young turds. I think we need to continue doing it. We need to go after them as much as possible. We need to fucking call their bullshit out. Go after them and really fucking tell them who they are. Because we need to tell the young turds just how insignificant they really are and how dumb they really are. And everyone knows it too, okay? Everyone knows it. Anybody with a brain in their head knows that the young turds are a fucking literal joke. And it's sad what they fucking degraded into. It's literally pathetic. It's the most pathetic thing I've ever seen in my life. It's like funny that they were champions of Joe Rogan. They used to think that Joe Rogan was they used to agree with a lot of what Joe Rogan said. But now, because they turned into COVIDiots, okay, that's what they've turned into. They've turned into fucking COVIDiots. COVIDiots who fucking believe in the fucking the fucking bullshit COVID narrative, the lockdowns and the mandates and stuff. They believe in that bullshit and fucking vaccine passports in public spaces like they used to do in Germany and France and all that, you know, in these neoliberal countries. Even in Canada, they were doing this to some extent. Justin Trudeau had a fucking vaccine mandate to even enter Canada for some time. I don't think he has it anymore. But no, it's like all these people are, this is what the shit libs are trying to do. And this is another reason they're tanking the fucking economy. Okay? I'm all for the COVID vaccine and all that, but I'm not for fucking mandates. And when you say you're against mandates, that makes you an anti-vaxxer. Just like with Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan is against mandates. Just like Jimmy Dore is against mandates. I'm against mandates. Max Blumenthal is against mandates. You know who else is against mandates? Noam Chomsky. Noam fucking Chomsky. So explain that one. Explain to me how he is also against giving money to Ukraine. Explain that to me. Noam Chomsky, of all people. You can't. You're going to run from it. You're going to hide from it. You're going to run away and hide. Like little pussy-ass bitches. You're going to fucking run away and hide. Because you can't argue the facts. Oh, I'm thinking about this for a second. If Noam Chomsky is saying all of this stuff, then maybe it's time to step back and take a minute. Just like when Henry Kissinger and Marjorie Taylor Greene are to the left of us on the issue of war in Ukraine, then I think it's time to step back and take a minute. Right? That's what I've been saying. Again, Queen, Drew Pickles would be better than all these people. Joe Rogan would be better. Joe Rogan would be better. Joe Rogan would be good. Joe Rogan would be good. Joe Rogan would be good. Make Joe Rogan Drew Pickles make Drew Pickles Joe Rogan's VP, or maybe the other way around. So these to this bullshit, and I'll link them at the end of the stream too. Oh my God, can we just shut up about the fucking Biden laptop? But that's okay, because you know what? Because Sam Harris doesn't care what was on the Biden laptop as long as it prevents Trump from getting in there. Ooh, look at that, yeah. Imagine that. You know what? 2 videos in a matter of 2 days about Joe Rogan. You know what that signals? That your channel's dead. That your channel is losing recognition. Because you people don't listen to yourselves. Like, do you people listen to yourselves? Do you people understand how fucking retarded you sound? It's just Joe Rogan is the biggest boogeyman ever. Joe Rogan is the biggest boogeyman ever because he is contrary and his views are contrary to the shit lib narrative. And fling mud at all my critics as Republicans, right-wingers, and Russian puppets, Syria puppets, anti-vaxxers, and just throwing mud and hope it sticks. Throwing mud and hope it fucking sticks. Because you people cannot even bear to understand that you have no self-awareness, you have nothing to stand on, and nothing to say. Joe Rogan is encouraging people to vote Republican. And who the fuck cares? Who cares if he does? I'm planning on voting Republican for a governor of Massachusetts because our Republican governor was very successful. Chris Sununu in New Hampshire, a very successful Republican governor. Larry Hogan in Maryland, a very successful Republican governor. And I'm not cheering on Republicans here. But this is where it's going because people are losing respect for the Democrats. Because now the Democrats are the ones that are for war and for giving more of your money over to fucking fund a proxy war with Ukraine and Russia. Okay? So if people all of a sudden start to vote Republican, or if Joe Rogan is given advice about Republicans and whatnot, maybe it's time to look in the mirror and understand that our war policies on Russia and Ukraine are bullshit. Your ilk, Nancy Pelosi, went over to Taiwan and almost started World War III with China over Taiwan. Okay? So that's what this whole thing is about. This is why more and more people are starting to vote Republican. Okay? It's not because we're agreeing with the Republicans on a lot of things, but it's the fact that there's more anti-war voices over on this side than on this side. Because I don't want my money going over to fucking Ukraine to fund neo-Nazis to spite Russia. I don't want it. And I don't care. Ukraine wanted this war, NATO wanted this war, so whatever. Go let them fight their war. Go let them fight their war. Just like Israel wants it with Palestine and bombing Palestinians. You know, when there were Palestinians protesting in the streets and demanding that Israel ends its blockade, do you know what happened? Israeli forces gunned down peaceful Palestinian protesters. Just like the American-backed coup leader, Janine Anez, serving a 10-year prison sentence for war crimes and crimes against humanity. She was responsible for gunning down people and lifting immunity on state security forces. A U.S.-backed coup in Bolivia to gun down peaceful protesters after ousting Evo Morales, Bolivia's democratically socialist-leaning elected leader. And now they're trying to undermine Luis Acri in Bolivia. They're trying to do it to him, just like they're trying to do Daniel Ortega, just like they're trying to do with the fucking puppet Juan Guaido. That's what they're trying to do to that's why they're trying to prop up Juan Guaido, the fucking CIA-backed puppet to oust Nicolas Maduro, the legitimately elected president of Venezuela. But the U.S. and the West don't want him in there because he's not Team USA. That's why they don't like these socialist governments in Latin America, because they threaten U.S. hegemony. They threaten U.S. hegemony. So Russia's actions in Ukraine, no matter what you want to say about it, this is affecting the U.S.'s literal military-industrial complex. This is affecting their power. And it's just a way for NATO and the U.S. imperialist regime to get more and sell more arms and more weapons over to Ukraine for the weapons manufacturers and the military-industrial complex. Because this is what they're doing. This is what they're doing with your taxpayer dollars. This is what they're doing with all of our taxpayer dollars. This is what they're doing in the U.S. and the West. This is what they're doing in the West. This is what they're doing all in the West. They're doing this in Europe too. They're doing this in the Nordic countries. They're doing this in the UK. They're doing this in Canada too. They are doing this in Canada. They're doing this with all these countries. They can't let Russia win this war, even though Ukraine is not going to win this war. They cannot let Russia win the war because they have to deny Russia a victory because they can't let Russia win. They would rather just let the world suffer under sanctions that are firing back on the Western countries rather than affecting Russia. So we'd rather deny Russia a victory rather than letting our world become normal again. We can't let that happen. I don't give a shit about Ukraine's satellite state. I don't care about Zelensky and his fucking macho bullshit. I don't care. His fucking putting on his fucking t-shirt looking like he's ready to go to the fucking Planet Fitness. Ooh, look at me, I'm so tough. You know, fucking idiot. This is the guy that's dictating U.S. foreign policy and Western foreign policy and EU foreign policy. In addition to all of it, in addition to doing all that, in addition to Israel also dictating to the West about what to do. Israel's doing the same exact shit. So this is the kind of thing that we've got, and this is what the young turds are funding on their channel. They're sponsoring Ukraine wars and Taiwan wars, and their idiot followers are doing the same. They're like a bunch of, they're not even sheep. They're like fucking cows in fields with a fucking bell on them. That's what they are. That's what these fucking shit libs are. And they don't like voices that are further left than me. That are further left like me or like the Gray Zone or Jimmy Dore or even Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan is a literal centrist. Joe Rogan has some lefty views, some conservative views. Whatever. Because you're desperate for clicks, you're desperate for attention. Young Turks, fuck you. Anna Kasparian, fuck you. You said Ed Monte, fuck you. I said, no, Anna Kasparian, fuck you. I don't care what this stupid-ass fucking clown has to say. Cenk Uyghur's a clown. Anna Kasparian's a dumb fucking whore. A dumb, stupid fucking establishment bucktooth fucking whore. Nobody should care about anything these people have to say. And yeah, Nicholas, these pirates are armed to the teeth. I mean to call my allies on the country might fall. You're having a piracy issue too there, bro. Well, I'll help you. Now the Pogo Islands will defend against you because your country isn't funding a proxy war like what NATO's doing with these countries. It's getting to the point, guys, where you know what? You know, it's just become to the point where, you know what? It's almost to the point now where, you know what? I'm almost beginning to trust Putin over any of these fucking Western leaders. Okay? I'm just saying that. And by the way, there's more. There's more. More U.S. hegemony over in the Pacific to deny China a victory and to deny China influence in the region. And funding riots in not Somalia, in the Solomon Islands. Well, also Ilhan Omar is funding a proxy war with funding militaries and military interference and proxy wars in the Horn of Africa, including in Somalia. So that's why Ilhan Omar is not exactly. She's like this big goddess in the eyes of the the shit libs and whatnot. Because Ilhan Omar is she's with them too. She's with giving money over to Ukraine. She's with all this stuff too. Nick Lavania deals with that song. Yeah, I agree, dude. And the Pogo Islands is right there with you. Like this. Because we believe in peace. Because we believe in actual peace. Peace, harmony, and stability. That's what the Pogo Island stands for. We stand for peace and tranquility and everything. What are the penalties for piracy? Because on my 16 islands, the penalties for piracy vary. Navy Island, where these recent pirates were caught, face a mandatory life sentence in prison. So I will definitely be linking these fucking bullshit shit in the link in the description. But yes, when Obama wore a great light suit, it was considered unserious. Yeah, well, because here's the thing, Obama's with them too. Okay? You know, there was a U.S. regime change operation going on in Ukraine in 2013 and 14, and Obama was sending weapons over to those fucking, over to Ukraine as well, as early as 2013, 2014. So that famous quote that he said, that one famous quote, which was hilarious by Max Blumenthal, it was pretty funny. It was actually absolutely hilarious. That most recent video was NATO escalates and edges towards world war. This video was the one where Max Blumenthal said that when Obama wore a light suit, it was considered unserious. Interviews Michael Tracy from Madrid, where NATO members were meeting, planning an escalation in the Ukraine proxy war and admitting Sweden and Finland as members. Found and executed on site. Thanks for your help, Zach. Oh, of course, no problem. Yep, arrest them, try them, and sentence them to death. Because if the penalty for piracy is death, then I would be fine with that. I'd be fine with that. We need to really spread awareness about these fucking people. These people are such jokes. I don't know, guys. It's getting to the point where I don't even know anymore with the fucking Young Turks. This is just what they do. I mean, I don't want to harp on this topic really in particular, but this is what they said. And I feel it's necessary to spread awareness as to how fucking fake and phony these people are. Because they're literal pieces of shit. They're pieces of shit, dude. They're the biggest fucking liars and smear merchants of all. Ban the Young Turks from my country. You should put like Chinese censorship in there and get the fucking Chinese Communist Party to go and fucking censor them. Because that'd be funny. No, I'm literally kidding. I'm trolling. I don't believe in censorship at all. I'm vehemently anti-censorship. I'm not for censoring anybody, not even the Young Turks. Why would I want to censor the Young Turks? Do you understand just how much content we'd be missing if the Young Turks disappeared? No, I want them to continue. I want them to be out in the open because they need to be exposed by every single stretch of every single imagination on Earth. Because they're the biggest fucking liars and they're the saddest jokes on the internet. It's just nothing but 99% smearing all of your critics and as right-wingers and Russian puppets and authoritarian apologists and just flinging mud at people and hoping it sticks. And anybody that deviates from our narrative is a right-wing puppet. Well, that's basically what they do. They're fucking liars and smear merchants. They are. They're pieces of fucking shit. The Young Turks are pieces of fucking lying shit. They're sacks of fucking lying dog shit. I mean, they're not allowed to step foot in my country. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know what you meant. I was just trolling. Yeah, no, I don't think it's censorship either. I was just playing around. I'm just having fun. I'm just having fun here. I'm just having fun. But yeah, there's a U.S. hand in the Solomon Islands in the Pacific Ocean. All these anti-Chinese riots in Tonga in the Pacific Ocean, and all these other places where Taiwan had allies, but I guess China took over, and all that other stuff. So it's like, yeah, this is something. So yeah, they've taken over. Like China's taken over a lot of different things, and I'm okay with China taking over. I don't give a shit. Okay, I don't give a shit. China's taken over in Africa, helping African nations build more roads and infrastructure, while the U.S. is just pushing these poor nations in Africa into the NATO proxy war and long-time U.S.-backed allies, including in like Uganda and Eritrea and all these other different places, are telling them to fuck off. You know, Eritrea, the country that had a literal war with Ethiopia, they made peace with Ethiopia, the country of Eritrea in the Horn of Africa. They made peace with Ethiopia a few years back. They signed a friendship treaty and everything. Well, Ethiopia was backed by the U.S. The pro-U.S. parties in Ethiopia were being backed against that war with Eritrea. So now Eritrea made peace with Ethiopia recently, and now Eritrea is on the side of Russia and voted no against the UN resolution to condemn Russia over Ukraine. This is what's happening. This is what's happening, and now you see this shit going on in the Solomon Islands. Now the U.S. is trying to fund proxy wars with China now over Taiwan. Now it's over in the Pacific. This is what's happening. This is what the military-industrial complex is now doing. And now they're spouting more of that Uyghur Muslim garbage. Oh, we got a fan from India in here. Hello, sir. How are you doing? I've never seen you before. Are you a new fan of this channel? If so, welcome aboard to Zach the Celtics Guy's channel. Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard to exposing U.S. hegemony, the U.S. empire, and military intervention and imperialism. Like, you know, these atrocities by communist regimes. It's like what atrocities are they committing? Like, what atrocities are they committing? I don't see any. I don't see any. And you know what? You have the right to say what happened and what didn't happen. Because this is all misinformation. This is what Nina Jankowicz wanted to do with Joe Biden and the rest of them. Now they're trying to censor the Hunter Biden laptop story. They're now trying to censor that. They're trying to cover up for Daddy Biden, go figure, while he provides fake promises over canceling student loan debt. Now, what they're doing is they're now trying to censor anti-war activists. They're now trying to censor anti-war activists who deviate from the fucking bullshit American narrative on Russia and Syria. Because in the OPCW report on Syria, they're now trying to censor that if you're an Assad apologist. Because they'll also try to go after me, even though I'm pro-Assad. I'm a pro-Assad lefty. I'm a pro-Assad lefty, and I'm an Assadist, and I believe in the Ba'athism movement in Syria because it's brought peace to them. You know, Ba'athism under Saddam Hussein was actually relatively, it might have been kind of brutal, just like that's what Gaddafi was. Gaddafi's Libya was the most prosperous nation in Africa until the U.S. and NATO went in and overthrew Gaddafi. And now Libya has degraded into a failed state where there's no functioning government. It's literal anarchy. It's literal anarchy. Gaddafi was one of Africa's most successful leaders, just like Assad is Syria's most successful leader. That's why these Western nations are trying to go after him and sanction him. That's why they're trying to go after him. Do you know how, just like with Hugo Chavez, when Hugo Chavez in Venezuela, when he lowered poverty, he cut poverty in half. Okay? He cut poverty in half. Now poverty's on the rise, and then they blame it on Maduro. And then now, when Nicolas Maduro in there, now they're blaming it on him. Oh, the food shortages. No, the food shortages are from U.S. and Western crippling sanctions that are denying Venezuelans food and medicine from getting into the country. But now they pin around and they blame that on him, and now there's this regime change operation to overthrow Maduro and overthrow other socialist leaders, socialist-leaning leaders. The Bolivarian leaders over in Latin America. That's what they're doing. That's what they're doing over there. I've had right-wing Venezuelan trolls in my comments, like way back when they were trying to go after me. Send you some new my military science created. Hell yeah, brother. I appreciate it. And yeah, I'm glad that my channel's getting viewers from India and from around the world, because you know what? Now my channel's gaining ground because of my anti-imperialist stance. I call on the gray zone, and anybody who's familiar with the gray zone, you can get me on gray zone. I will help gray zone. I will fund. I will do. I've donated to them. I will sponsor them on this channel because the gray zone is the biggest truth tellers that there is, and I'm with them, and along with Revolutionary Blackout, because we need to do this, and Jimmy Dore as well, because it's like, oh, because we're sympathetic with China and Russia and other anti-imperialist nations, that makes us tankies and everything. Because the fucking shit libs like Sam Cedar, the Young Turks, and the Humanist Report, and the Damage Report, and the Progressive Voice, they don't have anything to argue. They can't argue the facts. So they want to throw mud and hope it sticks. That's what they do. The far left and the far right are like no different than each other. Now, moderate Republicans, and even crazy Republicans, to some extent, some far right crazies like Marjorie Taylor Greene and Henry Kissinger, are now against the war with Ukraine and U.S. intervention in the matter. So that's the world we're living in, everybody. So as we're approaching the 40-minute mark, I want to wrap up with this segment here, and I'm probably going to go on and on, but you know, that's just me, because there's just so much shit that's going on. Okay, you will not be able to find this stuff because they're trying to censor it from us. They're trying to censor it from us. And they're even going after India over India's deals with Russia. Because India and Russia trade on science and technology. You know, we're trying to do that. We're trying to do that. We're trying to undermine these people. Undermine these people. And undermine all of them. They're trying to undermine lefty views and lefty governments. And governments in China, they're trying to do that. You know, in China, he was brutal, the Iraqi army is one of the biggest, well-known trained us and fucked up, and now look at their army. Yeah, exactly, dude. You know, Saddam Hussein was more legitimately elected than fucking Saudi Arabia and Erdogan in Turkey. Okay, you know, even Erdogan in Turkey is even trying to fight against NATO, trying to get involved with Russia. And Erdogan is a major warmonger against Syria. Like, he's been funding U.S.-backed jihadists against Assad in Syria. Okay? So, like, Assad and Erdogan are like mortal enemies, but they're starting to come together. Because now they're starting to come together, because now they're starting to see that, oh, you know what? This is what's going on. Yeah, be careful, Nicholas. Because you know what they're going to say about you, bro. They're going to say that you're an authoritarian apologist. Thoughts on the dinosaurs? I like dinosaurs. I actually have a dinosaur. Where is my dinosaur? I have a dinosaur that one of my best friends actually gave me for my birthday. When we went to the store, I picked one up, and he paid for it for me. It's a T-Rex. So I like dinosaurs. Dinosaurs are cool. I like brontosauruses. Because there's a lot of progressive activism in Massachusetts, guys. But you know what I have? I have the Massachusetts liberal in me, but I also have the live free or die spirit of New Hampshire. It's probably why I fit in so well in New Hampshire. I fit in really well in New Hampshire, where there's some nice moderation. Like, why can't we just get some moderation nationwide? Like, we just need some, because, you know, they say that we're the radicals, that people like me are radicals. Oh, I know they can, dude. I'm just playing around. It's like, ooh, be careful. You say that, you know what they'll say about you. Yeah, dude, fuck them. Their opinion does not matter. You have more of a brain than they ever will have. We all have more of a brain, because they can't argue the facts. So because they can't argue the facts, this is what they try to do. They will try to say all this shit about us. That's why the Biden administration is trying to censor us. They're trying to bring down the gray zone. Okay, these intelligence operations in the UK, we're trying to bring down the gray zone, calling them a Russian propaganda network. They're trying to say that about me. The young turds trolls have been coming in here, and the Venezuelan trolls are coming in here and spouting CIA propaganda, because the CIA, Ukraine, and the coup in Venezuela, they're trying to bring down lefty channels that are against the imperialist narrative and the regime change narrative. Because we're against the regime change narrative and the war narrative. We're just tired of it, guys. We're all tired of it. I'm sure you're tired of it too, Dinosaur. I'm sure you're tired of it too. We're all tired of it. Because I don't care what Russia does with Ukraine. I don't care. Well, yeah, Ukraine should just lay down their arms and just accept that Russia won, and say, you know what? Well, look at Iran and Iraq. Look at Iran and Iraq. Iran and Iraq gave up their arms, and they didn't even win. They had a brutal war. Well, the war was funded by the U.S. and the EU and the Gulf states and whatnot against Iran, because when Iran was the bad guy. But then when Kuwait was illegally drilling oil and stealing oil from Iraq, and then when Saddam Hussein went into Kuwait, and then, then when that happened, then they turned around and said, oh, fuck Saddam. Saddam's a bad guy because now he's against one of ours. Because, you know, Kuwait was like what Ukraine is, basically. Just like a far-right puppet government. Just a far-right puppet government. You know, everyone was gloating about how great Kuwait was, even though when Saddam Hussein took over Kuwait, because they were drilling under Iraqi oil wells, stealing their oil. So George H.W. Bush, the fucking warmonger that he is, he wanted to take over. And then, you know, he wanted to take over and get more of that Iraqi oil. So that's why. And then killed hundreds upon hundreds of Iraqis in air raid shelters and shit like that. Like, bro, this is ridiculous. And then put Iraq under crippling U.S. sanctions that malnourished tens of thousands of Iraqi men, women, and children under UN sanctions. You know, UN sanctions are backed by the U.S. By the U.S. government. The UN sanctions are not about the law of nations, okay? It's not like an international thing. It's not like, oh, all these countries agree and they do this and they do that. No, it's not about that. It's literally about them doing it, just like the UN sanctions on North Korea or on Iran over their nuclear program. It's all the same bullshit, same shit, different toilet paper. It's all just that. It's all just
The U.S. has the backing of the UN because the UN is in New York City. So whatever. So they got to do that. So they got to do that. They've got to back this bullshit. These countries put in sanctions. They're all backed by the U.S. The U.S. leads the pack on UN sanctions. So then they do that. And then it cripples Iraqi men, women, and children and literally malnourishes them. Just like what they're doing in Venezuela. Just like with the blockade on Cuba. The blockade on Cuba. You know, Fidel Castro outlived 10 U.S. presidents. Outlived 10 U.S. presidents. Did the embargo bring him down? Did the embargo bring the Castros down? Did the sanctions bring Nicolas Maduro down? Did the sanctions bring down Daniel Ortega? Did Ronald Reagan's literal funding of right-wing terrorist rebel groups known as the Contras against the Sandinista government, did that in fact bring down the Sandinistas? No. Did the blockade bring down the Castros? No. Did the sanctions bring down Hugo Chavez or Nicolas Maduro? No. It did not. Dude, the U.S. fucked up Nicaragua. The U.S. has fucked around with Nicaragua. And then there was a neoliberal puppet in there that got in after Daniel Ortega. This was during the time when the U.S. overthrew Panama as well, and around the same time they overthrew Grenada too. They overthrew Grenada. It was even to the point where when Ronald Reagan overthrew the government of Grenada, his biggest ass kisser ally, Margaret Thatcher, was even against it. Even for her, as much of a neocon puppet and a piece of shit that she was, even for her, the invasion of Grenada was too much. This was too much for them to accept. This was too much. Just like with Boris Yeltsin. When Boris Yeltsin was in there, this other channel named The Flame of Liberation made a very good point about this. Said also that the U.S. trying to undermine Russia and trying to give what the fuck was it? It was Chechnya, because Chechnya was a Russian territory, colony, whatever. And the U.S. was trying to have them break away from Russia. But even with Boris Yeltsin was an American-backed puppet. So even for him, this was a bridge too far. Even for him. So when these puppets all say, this is a bridge too far, this is all it all happens, everybody. This is all that happens. So then, yeah, the U.S. regime change operations going on in Nicaragua. Now trying to undermine the socialist leaders in Nicaragua. And then China gained influence in Nicaragua when they cut ties with Taiwan because Taiwan was being armed and trained by the U.S., so they didn't want a monopoly. So Taiwan was told to fuck off by the socialists in Nicaragua and by China. And then everybody was bitching and moaning and throwing a fit. Biden's administration was throwing a fit too. Again, this is my revolutionary socialist in me coming out and talking about this bullshit. Because this is all bullshit. This is all bullshit U.S. regime change operations. All throughout history. And if you don't know your history, you're bound to repeat it. This is how it is. And we need more people to come out and speak out against this. And yes, that's true. This is just history lessons for this channel. Because recently, this is what the shit that's been going on in the Solomon Islands. Okay? The Solomon Islands, the U.S. has been funding riots and armed militias in the Solomon Islands against China. Literally trying to fund arms against China. And now Australia and New Zealand, which are basically U.S.-backed puppet governments, are now trying to go in there and are trying to get them doing that. And now the Solomon Islands just recently blocked ships, banned foreign NATOs from docking. Yeah. So the Solomon Islands has finally said enough. So now they went over, they turned around, and then now they're doing it. So you know that this was a big blow to U.S. hegemony in the Pacific. Also where Tulsi Gabbard is from too. So imagine if we had a leader like Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi Gabbard who is an anti-interventionist in a regime and is against regime change. You know, that's the reason why she is being called a Russian puppet and a sadist and a right-winger and everything else. You know why? Because she's actually against the regime change wars. And she was in the U.S. military. So I have more respect for Tulsi Gabbard than I do any of these shitlibs that smear her. Whether it's the Young Turks or the Progressive Voice or Sam Cedar or any of these people. I have my critiques on Tulsi Gabbard too. You know, she was at one point supportive of drone strikes, and I was vehemently against that. But Tulsi Gabbard is more progressive than Bernie Sanders. She's more progressive. So now we got this. Imagine having her from American Samoa, who was also raised in Hawaii and also has Pacific Island roots to her. She's so right-wing she condemned David Duke. So much for her being a right-winger, right? Solomon Islands suspends visits by foreign military ships, raising concerns in the U.S. I wonder why. U.S. Coast Guard cutter denied entry into Solomon Islands port, sparking concerns. Let's load up the article here. Sparking concerns on China's growing influence. Well, would you look at that? Now they're worried that China's gaining more influence. My day's going well, Joey. I'm just going off about some history and shit going on with the Young Turk and all this other stuff. I'm just going off about a bunch of different things. I'm just going crazy. Blockade to a nation has been funding terrorist attacks on my country. I want to help. Who's doing that, dude? Go blockade a nation has been funding terrorist groups. That would be Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is the U.S. is the biggest fucking U.S. client state. A literal fucking rogue state that is ISIS if ISIS had a country. But Assad's the bad guy, right? But Assad in Syria is the bad guy, right? So imagine that. The Solomon Islands has said no to American hegemony. Can you imagine that? So that's pretty crazy. I don't know. I'm not interested in. I'm not interested in whatever personal problems you're having with this person. Okay, no offense. Okay. So whatever things that she's doing, you need to talk to her and sort that stuff out, because I'm not getting involved with YouTube drama. Okay, I want no part of it. I want no part of it whatsoever. If she's doing bad things, and if I see it, then yeah, I will say something about it. I'm not trying to be rude or anything, but I want nothing to do with any drama or any YouTube drama. I'm over it. I want to focus on bigger and better things like this, not that, not petty, whatever problems with whoever. So, whatever. If Alberti Maxwell is doing that, because honestly, that's a classic he said, she said kind of thing. She said this, she said that. Well, I don't know. I don't have the proof. If there's actual proof that she did that, then I might say something. But if not, I'm not going to comment any further. So anyway, moving on with this show. Moving on with the Zach show with regards to this. So this is what's going on. So now they're trying to do this. Now China gained a plus in the Solomon Islands. And you know where they're getting, and then now they're gaining up. Now they gained a plus, and then they gained a plus in Nicaragua. They gained a plus in Nicaragua because the U.S. has been trying to undermine Daniel Ortega's socialist government for years. For years, they've been trying to do that to him for so long. You know, John Bolton, the world's worst war criminal, the guy who literally admitted that U.S. coups, including the Venezuelan coup in 2002 against Hugo Chavez in Venezuela, and at a time when Argentina was experiencing their debt crisis back in the early 2000s, when their economy crashed in 2001, and the fucking warmongering Bush administration, also led by John Bolton, was indifferent towards Argentina's suffering and Argentina that royally pissed off people in Argentina, and for obvious reasons. No wonder why just a third of Argentines had a positive view of the U.S. at that time. Gee, I wonder why. But anyway, this is exactly what it all comes down to. So in Nicaragua now has this going on, now has the U.S. trying to undermine them, and has right-wing governments trying to go after them too. Now there's another thing coming out. U.S. considers halting Nicaraguan imports over concerns about its government. So now there's a U.S. sanctions regime now trying to go after Daniel Ortega now. So now the U.S. is now continuing to undermine Nicaragua because Nicaragua has a socialist government under the president Daniel Ortega because he's not Team USA. So because Daniel Ortega is not Team USA, now they're trying to go after him. So, yeah. Pause on that brief intermission. Pause for a brief intermission. So yes, whatever bad things you did, Queen, it doesn't matter. Okay, it doesn't matter. Okay, I'm probably a lot older than you. I don't know how old. I think you might be a teenager. You know what? I was a teenager once too. I'm 26. I'm 26. Okay, so you know what? I've done some things in my time too. Do you know how many times I've gotten in trouble in high school? I've been in school suspension. I've had in-school suspensions before. I've had more detentions in high school than you could even imagine. You know why? Because high school sucked for me as a gay teenager with autism, and I'm not defending what I did, in the day. I used to fucking slack all the time. I wasn't happy in school. I was very insecure about myself. I was in the closet as a gay man. So I used to get in trouble a lot. I used to hang around with people. I used to be a fucking, hey, you know what? You're still young, okay? We change, all right? We all change into better people, all right? So it's okay. Whatever you did, whatever, it's the past. You made mistakes in the past. You know what? You're going to learn from your mistakes. And that's what I want my young fans to understand. This is why I have a lot of young fans that look up to me, and I want them to look up to me, and I want to be a role model for my younger fans. I do. I want to be, and I want them to do the right. I just want you all to know that I care deeply about all of you. So when it comes to the he said, she said kind of thing, yeah. I mean, as far as saying I'm Raven Queen. Yeah, you're not Raven Queen. You're not Raven Queen at all. And my day was good, Joey. My day was good. Thank you for asking. So yeah, this is what's happening. This is all the stuff that's happening. All the stuff that's happening. Now Nicaragua is now being undermined. Now they're being undermined. They're being undermined by these imperialists. Called Young Turkey. Yeah. What? They're being funded by the fucking Young Turks? What's this fucking video that they had to say? Bigoted Florida school board. What? Zach, react to the Young Turks video.
A great example of how you can fight back and actually get rid of some of these bigots within these school boards, okay? Specifically, they wanted to recall Janet McDonald and Jill Woolbright. Why? Well, two of Janet McDonald's retweeted messages stated, quote, "It's easier to come out as gay than come out as a Trump supporter," end quote. Jill Woolbright is also problematic. Woolbright made headlines last year after calling the police on a school librarian for offering books with LGBTQ plus themes. Now, the recall group reached out to tens of thousands of voters through campaigns on various social media platforms, and guess what? They won. They got those two weirdos recalled from the school board, and it shows you that if you fight hard enough, if you organize, if you put your mind to it, you can actually fight back against the moneyed interests that are trying to rig every institution to their favor in this country.
Well, here's the thing. If that is actually true, then, well, if that's actually true, then you know what? That's good. We need to see anti-gay fuckers from getting kicked off. Okay? That's a good thing from getting removed from a school board. But why is the Young Turks talking about this? They're probably just talking about this because they're trying to act like, oh, look at me, look at me. I'm trying to be a defender of gay people and whatnot. Yeah, okay, whatever. So, this is basically where it comes down to. So, we've got this. We've now got a U.S. regime change operation going on in Nicaragua right now. Because we all saw what happened after they funded the Sandinistas. And then there was a other leader that got back in 1990 by the name of Valita Cheramora, and then she was a Nicaraguan wide-range change to oppose Daniel Ortega, Sandinista, National Liberation Front. And then the person who got in after her, after 6 years, was a constitutional liberal party, which is basically like a shit-lib neo-party, by the name of Arnaldo Elemen. Then you had him. And Enrico, and then you had another one, by the name of Enrique Bolernos. So these are the U.S. So this is U.S. regime change operations going on right here, everybody. This is all the shit that's going on. Fox News via Yahoo. See, now the establishment media is fucking shitting themselves. So now the establishment media is shitting themselves over this nonsense. I'm gonna send some ships to blockade Young Turkey's ports, and when necessary, I will besiege them. Well, that'd be good, dude. That'd be a case about self-defense. That's self-defense, brother. You'll have a legitimate case of self-defense. Ooh, but better be careful though, because we all know exactly what we all know what self-defense means to the young turds about Kyle Rittenhouse. Even though Kyle Rittenhouse acted in self-defense, and he was on video acting in self-defense. But that's what the shitlibs want to do. Alright, so about an hour into this, we're ready to, let's go, check out some more games here, because we've got some, I'm going to play some more Luxor Almond Rising here. Getting on to some of the hard levels up on Luxor Almond Rising. Actually, before I forget, I'm just going to link all of those videos. I'm just going to link all of those videos into my description, just so that way I don't, forget about any of it. Do you know about Joe Rogan? Yes, actually I do. I was talking about Joe Rogan earlier in the stream. I don't know what time frame mark in the stream, but I know I was talking about him. I was talking about him because, of course, the young turds had to fucking smear him again, because they just smear every single person that deviates from their fucking fringe left narrative, because that's all they do. That's all they have to offer. They're desperate for oxygen. Attention is the Young Turks' oxygen. Okay? Without it, their channel numbers would die. Just like oxygen. Without oxygen, you die. First rule of medicine, you don't breathe, you die. Shh, that's medical misinformation. Medical misinformation. Fuck yourself. And what I was saying about Farron Cousins is generally speaking, I like Farron Cousins. But you know what the sad thing about Farron Cousins is? He's parroting the imperialist narrative. He's parroting the narrative on Russia and Ukraine. He's so pro-Ukraine, dude. It's so fucking annoying. Dude, it's so fucking annoying. I've never heard anything so ridiculous in my entire life. Ring of Fire is a good channel. I agree with Farron Cousins on most of the issues, but not this. This is one of the things where, like, Farron Cousins, it just sounds like a propagandist. He literally sounds like a propagandist on this topic. Now, I'm saying this as a fan of Farron Cousins. I don't think I'm gonna have to unsubscribe from him anytime soon. I mean, of course, if I do, you know when that day will come. I know when that day will come, but I don't think it's gonna happen anytime soon. I don't know. If he degrades into what the Young Turks are, or Sam Cedar's into, then yeah, maybe I will. I also don't subscribe to David Pakman either. Dude, David Pakman is literally like mainstream media. He's so fucking ridiculous. He thinks that Joe Biden being in there is great because Trump's not in there. No, I don't want Trump in office. I despise him. I think he's a horrible leader and a horrible person. He has no business being anywhere near any levers of power in this country at all, whatsoever. Trump is completely unfit to be president of this country or any country for that matter. He's a fucking literal joke, dude. But this notion that Biden is somehow good, is somehow like so great and good just because of Trump. See, this is the shit lip narrative. This is what caused Hillary 2016 to happen. Y'all know how that went. I'm gonna link all of these. Who owns the Solomon Islands? China's influence is concerning. Good. I hope China expands their influence. Becoming pro-Chinese Communist Party up in here. You know, Max Blumenthal spoke to Chinese media before on the Gray Zone. Well, there's a lot of things you can criticize these countries for. Like, you can criticize all of them. You can criticize China for their lockdowns. You can criticize Russia for certain things too. I can. I do it all the time. Excuse me. You know, they say, oh, Russia's homophobic. Yeah, well, so isn't fucking Ukraine. Ukraine is just as homophobic, if not even worse. Okay, what kind of question is that, Alberti? Like, what? I mean, considering all the oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't know if you were trolling or not. I don't know, I'm sorry. I can never tell anymore it's like, it's hard for me to tell. But yes, I'm definitely a big fan of the P and ends with an S. Wink, wink. I think y'all know that. Alright. I'm just trying to put all these links into my description, just so that way I don't have to go back and look at it later. What is this, from Australia? Oh, of course it is. You're a little drunk right now. How old are you? Because if you're young and you're underage and you're drinking, I don't think that's a good idea. But who am I to judge? I've drank underage before, but I was in different countries when I did it. I drank when I was, let's see, 2004. Okay, you're 23. Okay, sorry. You're 23. Okay, so you're a little bit younger than me. Okay. I drank when I was 18 in Aruba. I've drank when I was 20 in Aruba. We went in May of 2016. I drank my first alcoholic drink. I was like either 19 or 20. So there's that. Yes, I saw your comment. And yeah, I agree. Hey, Joey. Welcome back. My day is going well. I saw your comment, but it went by super fast as I was ranting and raving. Y'all know how that shit goes. What's the link to this? I'm just trying to link all my videos. I'm trying to link all of the things that I... Well, if you're lesbians, it go, oh, well, cool. I'm a gay man. I'm a flaming homosexual. Links pursuant to this stream. Alright, I got all the links in here. Alright, people, we should be all set. Time to play some Luxor Almond Rising for a little bit. My computer's kind of slow. Y'all know how that goes. No, I'll continue calling this shit out till I'm fucking blue in the face. I know I'm like considered like pro-China for all the shit that I'm saying. I'm not pro anything. I'm not pro anything. You know that even the whole North and South Korea thing was caused by U.S. hegemony? Here's a little history lesson. Korea was colonized by Japan. Okay? That's what happened. Japan lost Korea in World War II. And then in Korea, it was split between the American-backed South and the communist North. The communist North and the right-wing South. So then, North Korea tried to reunify the country. But then, of course, our government was imperialist then. It's always been imperialist. This is why North Korea views the U.S. as imperialist, and they're not wrong. They literally prevented them from reunifying their own country. It's same people, same race, diet, everything. Okay? So, the U.S., of course, didn't want North Korea as a one state, as a one nation, because, oh no, communism bad, we can't have that, we can't have North Korea being communist. No, can't have that, right, no, can't have that. So, can't have that. So they did that. And then they literally dropped millions of gallons of napalm, destroying families' homes while people were in those homes. Killed hundreds of thousands of people in North Korea. This was like 8 years after the U.S. dropped the atomic bomb on Japan. Yeah, that was a real nice time. Real nice of them to do that to Japan. That was real nice. But yeah, that's with that. And then you had all of this stuff. So now North Korea is split between because South Korea being a U.S.-backed puppet, North Korea being with the Soviets. And then the U.S. trying to fight and overthrow the Soviet Union, and then throwing all these socialist countries into chaos, and y'all know how it goes. And now, into 2022, now North Korea is closer to Russia than ever. Okay? So, I was thinking about that recently. And you know what? We were always taught in school about how much North Korea hates America and how everybody hates, just like with Iran. Y'all know what happened with Iran. The U.S. overthrew Iran's democratically elected government to put in the Shah, a puppet dictator who was against the Soviet Union. I saw your, Matthew, I saw your comment, dude. I said I agree with you. Pizza day is a good day. Okay, so you know how you just know. My leg is so itchy. I was door dashing all day today. I was door dashing for like 4 or 5 hours. I delivered 9 orders today. Nine orders in 4 hours. So I'm like, I plan on working like 12, 16 hours a week. Because I already work 32 hours at my job, working in direct care in family services. I do that, so I'm going to do that and then work an additional like 12, 16 hours. So I'm officially a 40 plus hour worker. So I was thinking about that recently. And, you know, people say this and that about North Korea. You know what happened when, you know, this was one of the few things I agreed with Trump on. Trump actually made peace with North Korea. And he brought North and South Korea together. That was one of the few things I actually thought that Trump did that was really good. And if Trump did more of that, but I think the deep state, and I literally think that, you know, the warmongers that were in there, like Mike Pompeo and John Bolton, were trying to prevent peace from going on. I'm not saying Trump was really like this, but Trump was more against the deep state than you thought, okay? Because here's the thing. Remember when he tried to get along with Russia, right? You all know how that happened. He tried to get along with Russia. Everybody threw a fucking fit. They all threw a fucking fit. And then Russiagate, over and over and over again. The biggest conspiracy theory. That was a misinformation, right? Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of my face. But Trump was honest about the establishment. That's why the deep state was trying to go after him. I'm not being defender of Trump over here, people. I'm saying that they can't have Trump admitting. Trump even admitted once that the U.S. is stealing Syrian oil. It's like, hey, shut the fuck up. We can't tell them. We can't tell the world that the U.S. is stealing Syrian oil. We can't do that. That's what Trump did. Trump openly admitted it in a press conference or in an interview with the White House. Trump said that. Trump was too honest for the establishment. That's why the establishment was trying to go after him. You know who said that recently? Jimmy Dore said that recently. So if you all wonder why I'm becoming more and more sympathetic with these so-called governments that are bad governments, you know why? Because you look at the history, and after looking at all of this, I can understand where they're coming from. Sorry. I know some people are going to say that I'm an apologist for authoritarian regimes. Communist regimes, and like this is, you know, the split in the North Korea between the North Korea and South Korea, between the North and South. That's what the U.S. tried to do. That's what the U.S. tried to do with Vietnam. We tried to do that with Vietnam. You know, when it was North Vietnam and South Vietnam? Yeah, they were trying to do that. They were trying to do that, North and South Vietnam. They're trying to do that against Vietnam, trying to split up Vietnam. That's what that whole thing was about. That's what fucking Vietnam was about. But no, I don't see what atrocities that these governments committed. What atrocities? What are we talking about? You have the right to deny these types of things. Yeah. You don't think these Ukrainian soldiers are like lighting themselves on fire and killing themselves and whatnot? Of course they are. They're doing that and then they're blaming Russia for it. That's a fact. Okay? Russia's not all bad, people. Okay? Russia's not all bad. Russia's not even a bad actor. They're really not. Okay? They're really not. I've been wanting to say that for the longest time, but I'm trying to tout that because I know how people's reactions are going to be. No, I don't care. I don't pick a side in that conflict. But if I had to pick, yeah, I'd go with Russia. Sorry. Fuck you. Fuck anybody who makes a big deal about that. I don't care. I don't care. I'm anti-imperialist. Russia's anti-imperialist. Therefore, I stand with them. Fuck yourself. Okay? How about that? You caught me. Ha ha. You caught me. Okay? April Fools. You caught me. April Fools. A little maybe like 5 months late. It's September 1st. Ha ha. You caught me. Sorry. I don't care. Mustache. What's up? You love BoJack Horseman? I love BoJack Horseman too. Well, Nazi Germany is what. Well, let's see. Let's think about this for a second. There's literal Nazis in fucking on the Azerovs in Ukraine are the literal modern day Nazi Germany, but because. So because of all that, everybody, this is what it all comes down to. They're all fucking, yeah. You know, everybody's bitching and moaning that, oh, there's Nazis here, you know. Everyone's bitching and moaning about Russia and Ukraine. I don't believe in war intervention. I don't believe in that from any state actor. I don't. Okay? I don't. I don't believe in that. But you got to understand why Russia acted and did what they did. You know why they did what they did? Because they were provoked into a war with Ukraine. They were provoked into a war with Ukraine by NATO. They were provoked into a war by NATO. Fact. Imagine them invading Nazi Germany and the U.S. making a big deal about it. Yeah, exactly. If the U.S. invaded Nazi Germany at the time, they would side with Nazi Germany. Of course they would. We're siding with fucking Nazis in Ukraine right now. Zelensky is Jewish and he's funding Nazis in fucking Ukraine. And then making a big deal about the biolabs in Ukraine. Literally about fucking biolab conspiracies. Oh, that's a pretext for Putin using chemical weapons. Here we go again about the WMDs. Here we go again. Here we go again. You're going to lie about WMDs again, just like you're going to lie about WMDs in Iraq. You lied about WMDs in Iraq. You lied about chemical weapons in Syria. You lie about that. Now you're going to lie about Putin using chemical weapons on Ukraine. Get the fuck out of here. It's not even remotely believable. And anybody who believes that, it's because you're fucking stupid. Do you think I should host a sarin flag on my flagship? Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah, you should. Just wave a big Syrian flag that says "fuck the Young Turks" on it, and say "Viva Vladimir Putin" on it. Say that. That'll really trigger the fucking shit out of them. And say Alexander Lukashenko of Belarus is a great leader. Isn't that right, Dinosaur? You probably agree too. I bet you do. Dinosaur is just Dinosaur over here. Dinosaur over here. He's just neutral. He's just neutral. Got a Dinosaur over here chilling with me right over here. He doesn't give a fuck. He's neutral too. He doesn't give a fuck. He's neutral. He doesn't give a shit. Isn't that right? Isn't that right? And then you know they're gonna bitch. Then they're gonna bitch. Then they bitch at Tucker Carlson because Russian state media plays Tucker Carlson clips on Russian TV. And you know the U.S. plays Ukrainian state media all over American media. It's all over American media. It's all over American media. And Tucker Carlson has no control over what Russia plays on their network. Whenever Russia plays on their television is up to them. Okay? You know in Albania, one of the U.S.'s puppet states, you know that they were They were posting George W. Bush all over their television, all throughout there, because of the U.S. and NATO bombing Serbia to appease Albania and to create the fake state of Kosovo to spite Serbia because Serbia's with Russia. Yeah, because we all know how that 1999 NATO bombing of Yugoslavia went. Because Yugoslavia was one of the last socialist states in Europe. So now they're trying to do that with Belarus. They're trying to go after Belarus. They've been trying to go after Belarus for decades because Belarus is not with the EU. They're not with the West. They're not with any of these people. All right, tangents aside. So that's Belarus. That's this one. That's this one. Schmirken, Geiger counter, Z, Operation Z. Don't say that in Germany or else they'll lock you up. So fuck you. I love Germany. I love Europe in general. I love the European nations, most of them at least. But any of these places that censor people's speech, you can fuck yourselves. Here's what I say. No war, no censorship, and no mandates. That's what I believe in. And say yes to a mixed economy and regulate capitalism. Because capitalism isn't helping us. Capitalism isn't helping us. Yeah, some of these countries are capitalist, but they're regulated. So, less capitalism. The less capitalism, the less the private market's in there for the profit, the better. That's what I'm going to say about that subject. So, moving on with this. Let's play some games and let's take a break from this because I've been ranting and raving about this shit for like an hour and a half now, guys. I want to give you guys a break. But thank you to everybody for listening to my ramblings. I really appreciate it. Oh boy. You know, everyone knows my stances on this. I'm not even afraid of being judged anymore. And I don't think anybody's going to judge me. I know Howling Wolf 94 would never judge me. He never judges me on anything. He's my best friend. Because friends never let friends out of their sight. You got a best friend like him, like I do with him, never let him out. Never let your closest friends out of your sight. Because if you got a friend like that, you've got something good. It's a gem. And you got a gem of a friend. That's what you need. Cheese pizza all the way. But I'm kind of more of a calzone guy. Calzones are the best. The pizza's good too. I love this little music in the beginning. Oh yeah, I completed this level. Completed it in one of my latest streams. Not the last one, but I think it was a few streams ago. Wouldn't you pet a baby bear? I wouldn't be petting any bears, for that matter. You know, it's funny. A lot of places in Massachusetts, especially in the North Shore area, we've been having a lot of bears coming out recently. It's been crazy. I mean, I love animals, guys, but hang on a second.
Be right back, guys. I gotta go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. Yeah, whatever. Alright, I'm back, guys. What questions do we got up in the chat? What's your favorite spirit animal and why? Spirit animal? Probably be cats. I don't know. I love animals in general, so it's hard to say. Hard to pick. Maybe a bunny. Well, I gotta go to the block in on the trigger start, and I'm bringing my Saren fly with me. I'll let you know how the stream. Next stream on the blockade's going. Well, I appreciate it, dude. You're awesome. This is why I love my fan base. Y'all know that. Yep, this channel was sponsored in part by Russian state media. We're also sponsored by the DPRK. Huh? We're sponsored by the DPRK. And you know, some people would be so fucking stupid that they would probably believe it. They'd be like, oh my god, he just admitted it. It's like, I'm just literally trolling you spastic retards. I don't understand why the term communist is so... It's like Nazi is like so... It's like Nazi is like such a... It's like such a bad word to say, you know, but it's like, why is like communist such a bad word? Because the West got it wrong on socialism, that's why. Because they don't know what fucking socialism is. You know, I'm fine with it, whatever, as long as it's regulated, you know? I mean, look at Venezuela. Venezuela's got a pretty private... Venezuela's got mostly a private economy, but the thing is like, they want to be true socialists, but they can't because the U.S. hegemony, U.S. imperialists will not let them become socialists.
Well, I mean, I don't think anybody should be surprised by any of these views. Considering that I'm a social revolutionary, or a revolutionary socialist, whatever you want to call it, with a tad bit of centrist views. I do have some views that I'm more libertarian on, like free speech and weapons rights and stuff like that. Alright, wait a minute. What? I saw a comment. What was the comment? Ever heard of some retard claim the Nazis are actually liberal because they say they're Nazis? So, yeah, I've heard that, dude. That's stupid. It's not even remotely true. That's what they're trying to say about Russia. Russia trying to fight the Nazis in Ukraine. I mean, how do you think we would react? Like, how would we react if Russia had some group of, let's say, Eurasian states on American borders? How do you think the U.S. would respond to American bases being, Russian bases up against American borders? How would we respond if, say, the Caspian, let's just throw out a random name, the group of Caspian Sea nations? Let's say Russia was expanding on American borders with Kazakhstan, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, you go down the list. Iran. Imagine if they, or Azerbaijan, imagine if they all got together and formed against American borders. How do you think the U.S. government would respond to Russia doing that to American borders? You don't think they would do the same thing and retaliate against the entity or the puppet government that they thought was doing that? Oh, they most absolutely would. But nobody wants to think this through. They just want to think Russia bad, because the media says it and our politicians say it. Because they never think things through. You know, even Farron Cousins doesn't even think this through. I wonder why that is. Oh, God, dude. This fucking... Oh, my God. They call this the Reed Sea. Well, they call it that because it's formed out of... Well, Prager University is that way, too. Dude, Prager University is fucking retarded. That's how Dave Rubin got his funding. You know, from the Koch brothers and everything else. And then people say, oh, well, why would Zelensky be with Nazis when he's Jewish? Look at George fucking Soros. Look at George Soros. George Soros had ties to Nazi groups. Okay, he was a traitor to his own kind. George fucking Soros. Did anyone ever think about that? Did anyone ever realize that? Oh no, they can't because it's Soros conspiracy theories. Dude, George Soros is he's a fucking waste of space. George Soros is a fucking literal warmonger. You know, George Soros was investing in many Asian Pacific nations, including when Dr. Mahathir Mohamad was Prime Minister of Malaysia. And Mahathir of Malaysia actually called out George Soros. And then that's when they slandered Mahathir as an anti-Semite and stuff like that. Dude, he took advantage of that during the Asian financial crisis in the late 90s. That's also when the U.S. was trying to interfere with Malaysia's affairs when they locked up their
one of their corrupt cabinet officials by the name of Anwar Ibrahim. And Madeleine Albright was on the forefront of that. So wasn't Al Gore. And Malaysia told them to fuck off. They told Bill Clinton to fuck off. Like, mind your goddamn business. And for good reason. Like, what Malaysia does with their judicial system is none of our business. Just like with what any other country beyond the U.S.'s borders does. It's none of our business. But no, they did it, you know. Mahathir was one of the best leaders in the world. Along with Lee Kuan Yew in Singapore, made their countries big, you know, powerhouses, economic houses. You know, you talk to people from Malaysia. I've talked to people from Malaysia all throughout YouTube, and they'll tell you. Mahathir was almost also anti-war. You know, he actually said he doesn't support Putin's war in Ukraine. He actually said that. No, but then Mahathir later came out and said, yeah, no, this is more like a proxy war. Mahathir is a great man. Now, I know, dude, I know you're not talking about me. I know that. You're a good dude, dude. Dude, the fucking deep state can come after me. Like, I don't care. The establishment can come after me. Like, I don't give a fuck. Reed Sea was based off of the Red Sea. Who's Michael Gnomes again? I'm not familiar with that person. Well, I'll tell you right now, I know another Michael Brooks, was a phenomenal journalist. You know, he used to be on the Majority Report. Oh my God, he died a couple years ago. I was so sad when he died. He died of like a blood clot, and he was so young too. He was only like in his 30s. Like, that is so sad. But I'll tell you right now, Michael Brooks would be rolling over in his grave if he knew what the Majority Report has turned into. A literal shit-lib network. You know what it would have turned into? Let me just say this. I have a theory. If Michael Brooks was still living and was on the Majority Report, he was like the Jimmy Dore of that network. Just like how when Jimmy Dore was on the Young Turks and whatnot. Yeah, it would have been the same thing. Michael Brooks would have been vehemently against this, you know, U.S. NATO proxy war with Russia against Ukraine, you know, with Russia and Ukraine. So I guarantee you, he would have left, and he would have went vehemently after them, and then they would have made up smear campaigns about him too. Oh, they would have. They most absolutely would have. But we may never know. Ever since Michael Brooks died, I think that's when the Majority Report really just started like going downhill. Dude, the Majority Report is a bunch of fucking assholes. Sham shitbag MSNBC-er. Fucking assholes, dude. That channel is literal mainstream bullshit. Just sheer stupidity. Alright, I think after this level I'm going to call it a night, guys. Oh yeah, bro, I agree with you. None of them are. CNN and MSNBC are the same exact way, bro. What's up, Rebel Shadow? How you doing, man? I hope you're doing okay. And yes, Rebel Shadow, great friend of this channel. Subscribe to Rebel Shadow. Oh, ear is itchy. I've got such dry skin, like, oh my god. Making a new video before school starts. Oh, that's cool. You going into senior year, bro? Must be going into senior year. Or, I'm not sure. Because you're 17, so you're probably going into senior year, right? I don't remember how it works. Senior year, what? I wish you well on that, bro. I really do. Oh, that's who he is. I've heard of the name, but I just wasn't too familiar with it. Sounds like garbage. Garbage. Garbage! I've been feeling pretty upbeat as of late. You know, I go through depression. Sometimes it's, you know, it's always a struggle, but I've been feeling pretty upbeat as of late. Because I'm just at the point, guys, where you just shouldn't care. Just know who your real friends are, hold them close, and don't give a fuck what other people's opinions think. The people who matter in your life, that's all that matters is what they think. Always remember that. Just always remember that. And I'm always here for you guys whenever you guys need it. I know some of you follow me on Instagram. Yeah, if you ever need to chat anytime, you know, you can always talk to me. I got your backs. Always got you guys' backs. Yeah, there it is, the gray zone. This is what sponsored the zones on my channel. It's this great channel right here, the gray zone. They resemble me. So yeah, I wish you guys well, and I wish you guys, I wish all of you well. Oh, look at that! I got a shout out from somebody. Hyper Navy SEAL Wolf. Thank you. I appreciate that. Don't know. Okay. Well, I appreciate it, guys. I really do. You know, I love you guys. I love all of you. I love my fans. I love my fan base, my audience. I don't remember who this channel is or what it's based on. Just checking around a little bit. I don't know who this. Oh, this looks cool. I already loaded that. Well. Oh, this looks like a friend of this channel. Subscribe to him. Thank you for the shout out, Hyper Navy SEAL Wolf. I appreciate it. And I'll subscribe to him too. So yeah. Alright guys, I think I'm going to call it a night here. We're at an hour and 50 minutes. But this was a good stream. Thank you to everybody who stopped by tonight. I appreciate it. All my friends, my best friend, everybody who's here and subscribed to this channel. My friends and everybody here. I appreciate all of you. Thank you to everybody who stopped by. Much, much appreciated. Hope everyone has a great night. Be safe, be well. I'll be back tomorrow at some point before the weekend, before I have to go back to work. So I'll try to be here tomorrow at some point. I'll see y'all again really soon. More videos, streams, premieres, a whole bunch of other stuff in the works. Check it out, and I'll see you all again next time. More stuff on the way, and I'll see y'all again. And I'll see y'all again soon. See y'all again next time. Bye for now. Take care. Peace out. Y'all have yourselves a good night or day, wherever, depending on what time zone you're in. Peace out, everybody. Bye-bye.